Greetings to everyone at my channel. This is BYD Sealion 05 DMI 2025 model year Smart Driving Edition, top version of this car. I've been wanting this car for so long time, it's really difficult to buy in the top match with low mileage, but I've managed to do it and I've been driving this car for more than 1 month. I've done more than 1,000 kilometers and I have a lot to tell you. Today I will tell you the reasons why you should not buy this car, but of course everything is not so simple and not so definite. As always, we will have super detailed review with lots of technical information, but let's start from the actual mileage testing. For the first part of the range test, the pure electric range test, we have to charge the battery until 100%, and here comes the first disappointment of this car. The maximum charging power through the DC port is 18 kilowatts, which is written in the specification to this car. Actual charging power is from 16 to 18 kilowatts, which is of course very long and inconvenient. This 18.3 kilowatt hour battery we have to charge for about 1 hour on the fast charging station. I want to remind you that the BYD LDMI with the 26.6 kilowatt hours battery could take more than 55 kilowatts, making charger much more faster. Finally, we have managed to charge this car to 100%. The general mileage is 1,871 kilometers. Trip A I put to 0, trip B I put to 0. The total mileage of this car in hybrid mode is 763 kilometers, in EV mode 1,109. Now, when the battery will fall up to 20% and the internal combustion engine will start, I will stop and I will show you how many kilometers we've done in EV mode. Now we will get prepared to the next stage of range testing, and we added the 95 petrol up to the first click of the petrol gun. Here it is full tank. So now we have the test result of pure electric range. Now the battery discharged until 20%, as you see, and we have 85.1 kilometers of the range. This is trip A. We can also check other trips so you can compare it to what we had in the beginning. Our outside temperature is 6 degrees. Most of this range I used the air conditioner on 24 degrees, and here we have the usage of energy. 93% were used for moving of the car, 4% for AC, 3% for other appliances. From now we start another test. It will be hybrid automatical mode with 20% of the battery without any charging. Let's go. We have driven exactly 410 kilometers after the last adding of petrol to the first click, and now we have added petrol again, and as we see it is 28 liters, 0.22. 410 kilometers we did after the first full discharge of the battery. After that we didn't charge it, so basically we did it only on fuel, and we used 28.22 liters of 95 petrol. It means that average consumption is 6.8 liters per 100 kilometer. We also can calculate the combined range, pure electric plus petrol range, which is 498 kilometers, and the average consumption is about 4.7 liters per 100 kilometers. Basically, this is a little bit disappointing. When we tested LDMI in summer, our result of combined test was about 3.9 liters per 100 kilometers, much lower. The car had exactly same ICE motor, even bigger battery, a little bit heavier. So why did it happen? Why the result is a little bit disappointing? Because first of all, we had pretty cold days. Of all the days of testing of this car, we had about 0 degrees Celsius. I had to use the heater of the interior all the time. And also about 120 to 150 kilometers, I drove very fast. I had to go to the airport. I was short of time, and that time the speed was about 120, 130 kilometers on the highway almost all the time. But we tell you everything as is. It is extremely true, extremely real fuel consumption. And if you live in a cold country, about 0 degrees, you know that this will be your fuel consumption. Let's go to the in-depth review and we start from the body. This body is really not new. This is the sibling of BYD Song Pro, which debuted in 2019 here. At that time, that car had three versions: the ICE version, the hybrid version, and the pure electric version with 71 kilowatt hours, which was extremely huge for the compact SUV at that time. The hybrid version at the same time didn't have completely anything in common with the hybrid version which we have today. It was a multi-gear normal gearbox with 1.5 turbocharged engine, quite fast but complicated and not so reliable and fuel efficient like today's car. At 2024, in the frame of developing the Ocean series, BYD prepared this model, Sealion 05 DMI, based on Song Pro. As we know, the Song Pro is of course the Dynasty series, but in terms of technology, in terms of body and in terms of price, basically the cars are same. For today, both the Song Pro and Sealion 05 DMI has only hybrid version based on the last generation DMI 5.0, the last generation of BYD hybrid platform. The marketing positioning of this car is extremely clear and understandable. These, as well as Song Pro DMI, are the cheapest hybrid SUVs from BYD which you can buy for today. At the same time, despite this is a compact SUV segment, the car is not small. The total length of the car is more than 4,720 millimeters. The wheelbase is more than 2.71 meters, and all that is just about 6 centimeters smaller than the older brother, the BYD Song L DMI or the BYD Song Plus DMI. At the same time, the price here starts from about $14,600 for the basic version up to $8,800 for the top version, where the price of BYD Song L DMI, even for the basic version, is more than 19,000 United States dollars. Of course, all that is based on the today's exchange rate. The USD rate has just fallen recently and the price started to look a little bit less attractive in the USD. Almost incredible, but already for that price you got the full thin coating of this steel-made body. Even the internal panels of the doors, like here, and the body crate, all has zinc coating, which makes the BYD one of the most responsible manufacturers in budget segment of cars. And by the way, even the cheapest cars like BYD UN Up have zinc coating. In terms of technical specification, this car is same as elder brothers built on the BYD 5.0 DMI platform, same as BYD Song L, which I have used to drive for 3 months, and I have super detailed video on my channel. I recommend to view it. Here we have the consequential and parallel hybrid at the same time, so the ICE engine can actually rotate the wheels, and it actually rotates the wheels quite often. This is the BYD 472 QC motor, which works using the Atkinson cycle, which gives unbelievable possibilities for energy efficiency. At the same time, this motor is super reliable and actually very cheap. If you someday need to change it, it will cost you probably below 2,000 United States dollars. This ICE works with the electrical motor, which is slightly less powerful than in the bigger cars. It has 120 kilowatts compared to the, for example, BYD Song L DMI, where it has 218 horsepower. Here it is 163 horsepower. Nevertheless, acceleration from 0 to 100 in this budget SUV takes only from 8.3 to 8.5 seconds, which is quite good in my opinion. In terms of batteries, we have two options. The first one is 12.9 kilowatt hours with the CLTC pure electric range of 75 kilometers, which I of course cannot recommend to buy. And the other bigger battery, like in my car, is 18.3 kilowatt hours, which is already sufficient for CLTC of 115 kilometers. But in real life, you already know what is the range. We don't have the heat pump in the air conditioning system here, but the elder brothers like Song L DMI also do not have it. But I have to tell you something interesting about the system of heating of the interior of this car. As any normal car, this car has liquid cooling system of the ICE, and it has these hoses which goes to the radiator of the heater of the interior. So the ICE motor, ICE engine, of course, can heat the cabin space, but when the engine doesn't have the working temperature, you have the PTC heater in this car. That is basically just the electric air heater, same as in EV cars, same as in modern diesel cars. It means that when it is winter and you start your car, you don't have to wait until the ICE will heat up. It can just use the PTC and energy from the battery, of course, unless it is uncharged. And that means you don't have to wait. You will have heat in your interior from the beginning, but of course it will use pretty much power from the battery. We have curious situation with the charging ports. In 12.9 basic battery, there will be no direct charging port with DC charging. We will have only AC charger, but in top version like this we have both, as you see. At the same time, the V2L with power up to 3.3 kilowatts we have in all versions, even in the cheapest one, which is amazingly remarkable. But the biggest problem here that is even with 18.3 kilowatt hours battery, the maximum charging power here is 18 kilowatt per hour, which is of course good for the battery health, but at the same time I really didn't like to charge the hybrid car with such a not big battery for about 1 hour. In terms of equipment, in 2025 model year, everything looks pretty nice. We have 4 trim levels. All of them are smart driving. It means they have navigation-guided autopilot system. It means that all the versions have cameras 360 by default, because it's actually necessary for working of the autopilot system. We have lane change assistant, lane keep assistant, of course, full speed cruise control, and so on. And we have even the active grills right here, electrically controlled, which will help to save energy by default in all the versions. These super nice 19-inch wheels we have only in the 4-stop version. In all other we will have 18-inch wheels. Even the headlights in all the versions have automatic turning on and off, have automatic changing of the low beam and high beam, and at the same time have pretty nice quality of the light. By the way, the designer responsible for this car is Wolfgang Egger, that one who worked in Alfa Romeo, who worked in Seat and Audi. This is the last facelift of this car, which I personally like much better than the first one, which had a lot of square-shaped design parts like here on the front bumper. This amazing huge panoramic skylight with electric opening with electrically driven sunshade is by default in all versions except the basic one. The keyless entry, keyless start we have in all the versions by default. The front suspension looks similar to the Song LDMI. It is a classical McPherson with very massive lower lever with all the steel levers and so on. At the same time, we don't have here the adaptive suspension. It's not that market segment where it should be. And unfortunately, the ground clearance here is not the best in its segment as well. Only 156 millimeters under the front plastic cover of the drivetrain, which is in my opinion not so good for an SUV with 19-inch wheels with actually a full profile tires. Much better situation we have on the middle of the body with the ground clearance of 209 millimeters, so the front subframe is really a little bit too low. At the same time, I like the quality of how the chassis protection performed, the battery protection performed, everything looks nice and of good quality. High-Shilling IOGAT autopilot system, we are checking the rear part. Here we have so much free space that we could probably put one more battery. Of course, I'm kidding. Under the rear subframe, we have 265 millimeters under this lowest part. We have this muffler, which is made, as I see, from stainless steel and sounds pretty high quality and solid. We have the multi-link suspension. We have pretty nice protection from the rear bumper, but here we don't have any dusters, any protection. Maybe it's not so bad. It's better to have the airing of all this area. Now it's time to go to the interior, and from one side we see a lot of efforts from BYD. This interior looks better than you could imagine in this price segment. First of all, we have soft covering here. We have kind of Alcantara covering here, but it's not Alcantara, it's cheaper and more rigid material. Here we have normal plastic. Here we have the multi-layered soundproof glass, but only in the last 2 top versions. In other versions we don't have, but to be honest, it didn't help for sound insulation too much. We have the electric adjustment of the seat in all versions. We have seat heating and ventilation only in the single top version. At the same time, we don't have the lumbar support, but what is good, we have the adjustment of the seat cushion angle. Yes, it's a little bit compromised. It's not like super like in luxurious cars changing of angle, but nevertheless it works. And for this market segment, it's super nice feature. The steering wheel is covered in the fake leather material in all the versions, but we don't have heating in any of them. When we get inside, first of all, we see this extremely nice high resolution 15.6 inch of diagonal central control touch screen. This is only the top version feature. In lower version, it will have 12.3. Nevertheless, it is feature taken from much older and more expensive models. Here we have the normal cluster of gauges, which is about 10 inch of diagonal, which is extremely understandable, extremely ergonomical, and taken from older models as well. Here we have the heart of the ocean. This is the cluster with a lot of physical buttons. We have many physical buttons like in the more expensive BYDs. Here a lot of them, here a lot of them. This is the understeering button which turns on the autopilot system. Here we have the wireless charger with 50 watts of charging, which is extremely good, which is on the level of premium cars. We have here the mirrors with light for both front passengers. We have here the buttons of control of the panoramic sunroof. We have here pretty nice glove box. So all that sounds extremely nice. All that sounds like an adult car, but at the same time there is no feeling of premium, which should not be basically here. But compared to Song L, the car feels much cheaper. Even the seat position, I see it at pretty high level. I see all the hood, and this is actually the lowest position, despite I still have enough of space over my head. At the same time, the quality of assembly is a little bit worse than in Song L DMI, or maybe the quality of plastic, because somewhere I hear a little bit cracking noise. Also, we have the ambient lighting, but only in the two top versions. Nevertheless, for that price, this car gives you a little bit more than you could expect it. Now I'm sitting at the second row behind myself, and it is not so bad. I'm 1.78 meters of height. I have space over my head. I have space in front of my knees. I have pretty low and flat floor. I have deflectors of air conditioner here with 2 USB ports. I have pretty nice and long armrest. But BYD Song L DMI, BYD Song Plus DMI is 2 class better second row. It is wider, it is still lower floor, it is longer seat cushion, it is more space in front of my knees, and there I don't have to put my sneakers under the front seat. So this is not bad, but I know how BYD really can design cars. We have electric tailgate in last 2 top versions, but about the trunk space, I cannot stop complaining. This is only 407 liters compared to Song L DMI, which has almost same external size, where we have 680 liters. Even here, this temporary spare tire takes so much of useful space. Let's take it out and continue. The seats can be folded in almost flat position. Under the false floor, we have this organizer, which is pretty spacious. We also don't have any soft finishing here, but the false floor quality is pretty nice. The infography is as usual on your screens. Now it's time to tell you how this car drives, and of course it's very close to Song L DMI, Song Plus DMI, because cars have a very similar design of the chassis, but at the same time this car is very, very different. This car chassis is much more stiffer and much more sportive. Basically, this car enforces me to drive in a much more active and aggressive way than Song L forced me to do. That is maybe one of the reasons why the fuel consumption on our test is actually pretty higher. Not only the winter conditions, but also because on this car I like to drive in a more aggressive way. One thing this car is really worse than, for example, Song L DMI is the sound insulation. Yet the multi-layered soundproof glass didn't help too much. Basically, when you drive 80, 60 or more, you feel the wind from it. It sounds like from the basically door ceilings or from the wheel arches. This car needs better sound insulation for sure, but for this price, it's normal. Now we will accelerate from 0 to 100 using the built-in timer of acceleration. It is 8.8, which is very close to the specification. Maybe it's not super fast in terms of 0 to 100, nevertheless it's pretty sufficient for a family SUV, but this car is quite fast when daily driving in the city, when making acceleration overtaking at speed of 30 to 40 to 50, because the electric motor together with petrol motor gives you actually more than 250 horsepower, which is of course more than enough for you. I will not talk about the autopilot system today because I have talked about it a lot in the video about BYD Song L DMI, and the system is exactly the same. Maybe just some OTA update changed it, but it is the same D-Pilot 100, which can maintain self-driving based on the navigation, but it doesn't see the traffic lights, and literally a little bit far from the completely self-driving, but still much better than most of the manufacturers offer in this price segment. By the way, it's a funny thing that if the self-driving system has made some mistake, you can report about it doing 3 times high beam flash. 1, 2, 3. And now we have the message that the ADAS incident has been reported. By the way, the mirrors are same big as in much bigger SUVs from BYD. They are extremely nice. The 360 cameras work extremely nice. There is hot button for them. We also have extremely good view in the rear view mirror. So in these terms, it's a perfect city SUV. BYD Sealion 05 DMI, same as BYD Song Pro DMI, is pretty successful model. This car gives you a lot for this price. The equipment is nice, the handling is good, the battery of 18.3 kilowatt hours is super good. Also many small features like a perfectly working powerful wireless charger. Chinese people also like this car. In 2025 there were sold around 120,000 of Sealion 05 DMI. At the same time, at the beginning of the video, I told you reasons not to buy it. And yes, I personally suggest to add a little bit more money or to buy an older, maybe in a little bit worse condition used Song L DMI or Song Plus DMI. Those cars are at least one class better in everything, in terms of equipment, in terms of interior quality, the interior and trunk a little bit bigger. At the same time, the fees of using the car are exactly same. The internal combustion engine is same, the spare parts price is same, and the consumption of energy and fuel are also same. As for me, I would really buy a little bit higher class car, maybe in a little bit worse condition or a little bit older. Nevertheless, if you do not have such choice or you don't have possibility to find $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to buy a little more expensive car, this probably will not disappoint you as well, as it is a successful and well-made designed car. My name is Dennis, you were at my channel. Please subscribe, push the like button, and of course leave a comment. And if you like a car like that from China or any other car from China, of course I can help you and sell to any country of the world.